Now at 10, with all the heavy snow coming down this winter, flooding this spring is becoming more of a concern. We have more on why we're in much better shape than we were during those historic floods roughly 40 years ago. Plus,
my son and I survived a mass shooting over the summer. I am in Tennessee on a family vacation.
A school shooting out of Nashville killing 6 people, including 3 children. And while it may be hard to convince anyone the season is changing, it's time for spring cleaning. The state once put out a film shaming people into tidying up. It's worth watching. Welcome to ABC 4 News at 10. I'm Glenn Mills.
And I'm Emily Flores. We thank you for joining us here tonight. We do begin with breaking news. The search continues for a man trapped underneath the snow after an avalanche in Polk Canyon. Utah County search and rescue teams being shuttled up the mountain to help in the search. This in Cedar Fort. Now, we're told the man has a beacon indicating where he is buried. Teams now trying to get to him. Sergeant Spencer Cannon saying family is there, hoping and praying for answers.
These kinds of circumstances are incredibly difficult for family, waiting to get some answer and hoping against all hope that we'll have a successful and positive outcome here. I haven't had a chance to talk to them yet. I know that our search and rescue coordinators are doing that. I understand that one of the family members at least is here, but it's always hard for families.
Yes, indeed. Cannon continuing to say that avalanches are not common in this area. They say they're planning for a long stay tonight, which could mean that search could even last overnight. We'll, of course, keep you updated on air and always online at abc4.com as we get more information. And taking a look now at a large natural powder cloud avalanche. That's what you're seeing here from the middle finger of Mount Timpanogos in the Provo area. Avalanche debris stopping in the Dry Lakes area next to a ski area, but the dust cloud carried for hundreds of yards.
That is just so amazing to take a look at that image and just how fast it comes at you. For more on that, we are looking deeper into avalanche danger across the state tonight.
Yeah, let's head over to meteorologist Nate Larson in for Alana Brophy tonight. Nate.
Yeah, guys, we know how dangerous avalanches can be, and avalanche danger has been elevated across the Ogden area with all the heavy snow that came down with lake effect moisture, and it's been considerable across other areas in central northern Utah, which means that human-triggered avalanches are likely, and that danger is across all elevations and all aspects of the mountains with all the wind and the snow that we've seen over the past couple of days, and we expect it to remain more dangerous than normal into tomorrow, and especially later in the week as more active weather is going to be on the way. Hey, look at all the snow that we had pile up again. We mentioned lake effect moisture. This is in North Ogden. Brian Whiteleather showing off how much moisture they had this morning. Again, a lot of that lake effect moisture lingered through about lunchtime, even some scattered showers into the afternoon, but it really packed a punch for the Ogden Valley snow basin, picking up just an incredible amount of moisture in a short amount of time. 33 inches in 24 hours. 18 inches at Liberty, Layton 15 inches, socked in on the eastern portions of Davis-Weber County, over a foot and South Weber, just shy of that in Centerville. We had 9 inches in North Ogden, Manaway 7.5, 5.6 in Bountiful, Plain City 2 inches, or Park City, 2 inches, not Plain City. And we actually had record snowfall in downtown. Wasn't too impressive as far as the actual number, but 2 inches in downtown. Previous record was 1.5 from 2011. So record snowfall today. We also had a new record low maximum temperature set of 40 degrees today in Salt Lake. So we have active weather continuing after a bit of a break tomorrow. Another moisture-laden storm system on the way. The heavy snow in the mountain areas, the feet that's already piled up in conjunction with another atmospheric river event certainly has us wondering about potential flooding for the spring. Guys?
Yeah, thank you, Nate. Hoping for the best, preparing for the worst. That's what cities all across the state are doing as we anxiously watch that record snowfall melt. ABC4's Courtney Johns live in Salt Lake City tonight with more on what the city is doing to get ready for a wet spring. Courtney.
Yeah, Glenn, Salt Lake City Public Utilities says one of the most important things they can do is make sure that those grates and those storm drains are clear so all of that water has somewhere to go. Another thing that they're doing is collecting sandbags so people in those flood-prone areas can prepare. So to find out if you are on a flood plain, you can go online and search FEMA's flood map, which has an area where you can type in your address. Also remember, most flood insurance takes at least 30 days to activate, so this is a good time to buy it if you're concerned. While we have received an incredible amount of snow, similar to what we saw in 1983, The city says we are in much more better condition. We're much more prepared for it. They say 40 years ago, the City Creek drain system got clogged, but now they have drainage basins and an excavator to pull debris out before it makes it to a pipe system.
We've also put in some redundant piping right there proximate to Memory Grove itself, and then further down we can bifurcate the flows to take some out what's called a Folsom drain, which gives a different discharge point to the Jordan River.
And keeping these grates and these drainage systems is so important that the city is asking for our help. They say if you noticed any debris in those areas, to please remove it, or if you can't, to contact them so they can send a crew out there to take care of it. We have their contact information on our website. That's abc4.com. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Courtney Johns, ABC4 News.
Courtney, thank you. In Park City today, a horse trapped in the snow. Around 11 this morning, the Park City Fire Department dispatched to assist a citizen. This on Parkway Drive. The horse had been pushed out of the barn by another horse, then sinking into deep snowfall overnight. Park City Fire was able to rescue him.
And a deadly crash involving a semi kills 3 people. The pileup happening on I-15 in Box Elder County. This was earlier this afternoon. Utah Highway Patrol telling us that it started with a smaller crash between a semi truck and a van, which slowed down traffic there. Well, then another semi didn't slow down in time and ran into a small car with 2 people inside. The semi truck driver and a passenger in the car both died at the scene. Another passenger in the other car was taken to the hospital in critical condition, where we were told they later died.
Utah Highway Patrol responding to more than 300 accidents over the weekend all across the state. Troopers say speeding, aggressive and distracted driving, paired with fast-moving snowstorms, just a recipe for trouble out on the roads. UHP reminding everyone to be on high alert while driving in storms and be cautious when the roads are covered in rain, snow, or ice.
And after 5 days of testimony, we are finally hearing from the man who is suing actress Gwyneth Paltrow. Plaintiff Terry Sanderson took to the stand today discussing his version of the events, explaining how his physical and mental health have changed since the accident. The ski instructor who was hired by Paltrow that day also taking the stand.
Did you engage in a cover-up to try to hide Gwyneth's reckless skiing?
Objection, relevance, overruled.
No, I did not.
Is that ridiculous and offensive?
It's very much so.
The trial is scheduled to end on Thursday. Both Sanderson and Paltrow are expected to take the stand again before the trial ends. Be sure to stick with us here at ABC4 News for the coverage of this lawsuit. We are following the trial's developments, and we'll bring you the very latest updates both here on air and online at abc4.com.
In national news, President Biden calling on Congress again to pass his assault weapons ban in the wake of the deadly Nashville school shooting today.
Yes, authorities saying a 28-year-old female shooter killed 3 children and 3 adults. Washington correspondent Jesse Tenor reports on the latest reaction from D.C.
President Biden said he would wait for more details before getting into specifics, but authorities on the ground there in Tennessee did say the shooter was carrying 2 assault-style weapons.
It's sick.
That's President Biden's reaction following another deadly school shooting that took the lives of at least 6 victims Monday.
It's heartbreaking, a family's worst nightmare. And I want to commend the police who responded incredibly swiftly.
While the president waits to hear more details from those on the ground in Tennessee, he called on Congress to pass his assault weapons ban.
We have to do more to protect our schools so they aren't turned into prisons.
Tennessee's senators, Republicans Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty, opposed such a ban, but both responded to the tragedy, tweeting their offices are in contact with federal, state, and local officials and thanking first responders. Their colleagues, including South Carolina Congressman Joe Wilson, also expressed their heartbreak on the floors of Congress.
Our prayers for the families in Nashville.
But Democrats, including Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, urged lawmakers to act.
Once again, thoughts and prayers are not enough.
And Durbin chairs the powerful Senate Judiciary Committee and says he supports an assault weapons ban, along with various changes to background checks. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Now to the latest details on that deadly shooting. 3 children and 3 adults shot and killed at a private Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee this morning. That's according to authorities who say police say they shot and killed the female suspect. Police now identifying the 6 victims as Evelyn Deekhouse, Haley Scruggs and William Kinney, all age 9, and Cynthia Peak, Mike Hill, and Catherine Kuntz, all staffers in their 60s. The shooter has been identified as Audrey Elizabeth Hale. They say she entered the school through a side entrance carrying 2 assault-type rifles and a handgun.
We went in as soon as it was safe for our responders to do so, to try to provide life-saving efforts for those that were impacted by this incident.
In a matter of 14 minutes, 7 people, including the shooter, dead after Metro Nashville police said they shot and killed her. Students seen holding hands, leaving their school, and surrounded by law enforcement to meet their parents and guardians. The FBI now involved in the investigation.
Coming up, it's time for spring cleaning. The state once putting out a film even shaming people into cleaning. ABC4's Craig Worth has that story in tonight's Worth Watching.
Plus, all the snow that we saw with some of the lake effect this morning ended up pushing some resorts over the top. Which areas now have record snowfall for the season? Details after the break.